Count them up.
Oh, baby. The Nico Iamaleava era begins in Knoxville. And Tennessee's got an over-under win total of 8.5 at FanDuel Sportsbook. Heavy juice to the over on this one. Tom, as the professor of all things Nico, what are we doing?
What do you think I'm doing here?
Over.
Hell yes, I'm going over. I am all in on this team in 2024. You know, we had to, spoiler alert, we had to put in our SEC expert picks this week as well as all our other conferences. You know who I've got in the SEC championship game playing Georgia? Tennessee. They might have the two best QBs in the league, man. Carson Beck and Nico. I look at this team. I love Nico. I love Nico very, 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 very much. I think he's going to be very good. I think he's stepping into an offense that gets a lot of returning experience, has a veteran offensive line, has veteran receivers, has veteran backs, a defense that might have the top player in the country and the first pick in the draft next year in James Pierce Jr. He's in an offense that is going to be well suited to his skills, and an offense that even with Joe Milton at quarterback still finds a way to put up points. Sorry, Patriots fans, it's coming. I hope you enjoyed last week. But I just look at the team right now going into the season as one of those squads that I think has a chance to take a huge step forward. And I look at the schedule, like Chattanooga, win. NC State, neutral site, Charlotte, I think they'll win that. It's going to be a tough game, but I do think they will win that. Kent State, they'll win. At Oklahoma's tough. At Arkansas, not worried. Florida at home, not worried. Alabama at home, they might win that game, guys, because this is not the same Alabama from last year, even if they got
favorite over Alabama, right?
Yeah, even if they got that number 5 next to their name.
Yeah.
Kentucky at home, Mississippi State at home. Come on, they're winning those games by 2 to 3 scores. At Georgia on the road, SEC title game preview, UTEP. What? And then at Vandy to finish the season, always a tough rivalry game, but I've got 10-2. The Vols are going over.
Yeah, I mean, this schedule is beautiful. You get Vandy, Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Florida and Arkansas. Like, were they not tip enough to get South Carolina? Like they basically got all the worst teams in the league.
Yes.
I mean, there are some good ones that could exploit what they do. Like if Oklahoma can block them up, they could also light them up, because I do think Tennessee's secondary is a weakness. But the first part of that sentence, that if's doing a lot of work, because I think Tennessee could have the best defensive line in the SEC. I think they're very much improved at receiver. Missouri kind of threw its pitch last year, threw that kind of crazy junk ball defense at them, and now they've kind of seen that, and maybe they can see some more of that stuff. The early game at NC State is certainly a challenge, because Dave Doran's a really good coach, and NC State's all those transfers they took better be ready to play and play early. I am also going over here.
Man, you guys are making me want to switch. I'm on the under.
Are you, Tom? Do you have him favored in every game at Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Okay.
I mean, make it 9.5. I would go over 9.5.
Yes, I would go over 9.5.
Give me exactly 10 wins plus 300 at FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can make every moment more.
You're over too, Chip?
Oh, yeah. I got him at 10.0.
There was a nice little tendency to go undefeated at 25.
I'm going to go under. I don't love it. I don't like when we're all on the same page, so I'll just take it. I'll take one for the team here. They're one of these quarterbacks who comes in and we expect him to be perfect, whether it's Jackson Arnold, who I was all in, whether it's Avery Johnson at Kansas State, some quarterback that's supposed to step in and be great. And maybe it's not going to be a disaster. But like when I go back to the year that Tennessee had when they were special, Hendon Hooker was special. Like he was really good. And I think Nico could be that, but in year one as the full-time starter, a little bit cautious. Bud mentioned the secondary, which I do think is an issue. We talked about the injury. They've got, they lost 11 dudes off last year's secondary. So thought we might have to have a little side action here. I mean, NC State, I'm not giving them that dub just yet. Watch out. I mean, Charlotte, NC State's going to travel for that game. That's going to be hostile. And then I had the Oklahoma game, Josh Heupel going back there. Apparently the relationship isn't great with everybody, so it's not going to be like just this love fest coming back. So I think they have that as a loss. And then I had Bama and Georgia as the other losses. But I do think there's a potential slip up in there too. Like maybe they don't lose all 4 of those. I think there's another one in there that could slip up.
I look at that Heupel Oklahoma feud as something in Tennessee's favor going into that game because I feel like we might have some stuff that we're not using in other games that he's saving specifically for the Sooners.
Tennessee, I believe, a 6.5 point favorite against NC State in Charlotte at FanDuel Sportsbook. I gave it to him, but that is a matchup specific where I'm not ready to say that NC State is in a position, and they can prove me wrong. I just don't know if they're in position to win a Tennessee kind of ball game.
They also have to stay very healthy on the offensive line, much like Oklahoma. The difference in these two teams to me is that I don't think Oklahoma starters are particularly good on the O-line. Like the drop off to the backups is really big. Tennessee has a similar drop off to the backups, but I actually do think that Tennessee's starting O-line has a chance to be pretty good.
Mays and Campbell, for sure. Really, really good players.
Yeah. I only wish Jordan was still alive to see it.
Coming up on the other side,